Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another video. So we're going through on how I make electrical schematics on SkyCAD, and we've pretty much finished my schematic side of things. So if you don't know, this is like the 11th or 12th video, I don't even know. But I have this rig at home that I use for my PLC stuff, and I wanted to make some drawings for it, so I thought I'd just document that, and then that way you guys will be able to see how I make drawings pretty much for free using SkyCAD. So I am on the advanced license on SkyCAD, but there is a free version, and I'm not using any of the advanced features as far as I'm aware of. So you can do all of this totally for free. So we've pretty much finished all of my schematics here now. So these are the various different schematics that we've developed over the last few videos. And so now the next part of things, I guess, is that this bit here, sheet 2 all the way through to sheet 9, these are all the schematic wiring diagrams of the rig, right? Then now we then go into more of the layout section, and then we finish off with a parts list. So this layout section is basically a visual representation of how the rig looks, right? And so I might want, like, what I don't have here is like an overview sort of 3D CAD-ish model. So if I, for example, I could maybe, like, my rig is, let's say it's like that. That's not a good drawing. Let's say my rig's like that, and then this is the front face, and then I guess like we could maybe we could do this. So we could say, then you got back face. I'm I'm not sure how I would do this, and then maybe do there, and then you do sort of top. So I could do a bit of an overview like that to maybe give the person looking at it. I don't think it's totally necessary, but I could do that, for example, right? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw out like this now, and I think this is pretty much good to go. The back, front, and top face of the product. So this back face, I don't remember where we did it. I think we did it in another video. I think I did this. The intention there was to be pretty quick doing this, and I think I'm pretty happy with it. I think you don't really need to increase on that. So let's just check. This SR1 is my safety relay. It's currently labeled K1. Why is that not also the full? Yeah, it's not. That's not actually down as a full component. Let me just make this one full component. 1 second. All right, so I won't make this a specific one, but I have made it a block that I can drag on now, like that. But what I'll do is I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to change the drawing reference number to SR1 because I prefer that. That there will change now to SR1, and then now we just. I don't know if I need to do this, but I'll just do it anyways. Let's just link. If I click this, home. Okay, I can't link that because it's not a component. That's fine. All right, so this is just a drawing, which I'm okay with that. So this is just lines and text, yeah, essentially. It's not linked to any of the SkyCAD backend. So I think I'll keep that, and I'm pretty happy with that. So to show you where that is on my face, that is this bit here: power supply, terminals, 5-volt regulator, MCBs, and safety relay. So now let's do the front side, which is the PLC side. There. Oh, we got an advert. Bloody adverts. Can we get on here without? Okay. There we go. Cool. So we did the front side. So we've got, what is that? That's not there anymore. That's an old relay as well. That's not there either. Okay. So I don't have an up-to-date video with my rig. Let me just quickly take a picture actually. So it turns out I do. I did a video 2 weeks ago. So this is my current rig setup. So we've got a Raspberry Pi, so end stop, Raspberry Pi, Arduino, PLC, Siemens PLC, switch, PC, some 0-volt terminals, and a relay, and then another end stop. So we could just quickly draw that. So we'll copy this DIN rail at the back that I've got, which I'll show you I'll show you how I made it. We'll copy it in here and I'll show you how I made it. So drawing rectangle like so, and then double click here, put a fill, let's make it gray, and then voila. Maybe if you want to make the line width thicker, let's make it to 1 mil. There we go. Cool. So that's our DIN roll. good to go. And then all we want is just a visual representation, so it should be pretty quick, right? If we just literally grab another drawing rectangle and do that, can maybe make it green for our Raspberry Pi. So double click, fill, make it green. Maybe I'll make the line around it yellow because I've got like a yellow 3D printed base on it, and that could be Raspberry Pi. And we could do the same for the Arduino. Copy and paste that, and then Arduino will do it. I don't even know what color the Arduino is. Let's just do blue and grey. Right, and then Siemens PLC is slightly lighter than the Arduino. So, and again, the whole point here is literally just so that someone looking at it can know what everything is. So, very quickly. And the good thing here is what I used to like about this is when I was going on site before, I'd grab the drawings first and look at the drawings, and so so I'm doing a switch. So the switch is black, is it? With a red border. Yeah, so just quickly combing through the drawings first, it was nice for me because then I kind of had an idea of what I was going into. I knew what the HMI would look like, for example. So like we used to do some nice drawings of the HMI. So terminals. So again, these are literally just rectangles, right? So my terminals are like pretty bright blue. And then, although I'll just do them grey. Grey with a darker border, I think. And then lastly, little relay, which will do another grey, but we'll do an orange border. So even if I left it just like that, you can kind of see the resemblance there between the components. So obviously now I'll just adjust the sizes of them all. Again, doesn't have to be accurate at all. So the Siemens PLC is taller and bigger than my PC is slightly bigger. My switch can stay like that. My terminals are small but wider. Maybe I mean, they are blue, so I'll just make them blue. I kind of would prefer to have all grey terminals, and then my relay super thin. Cool. So now we can maybe just center align all of these. So where's align? Align objects. Go to the center of the DIN rail. Oh, that ain't gonna work because that's aligned them to the top. That's annoying. So what do we do? We're gonna go up higher. Align objects up here. Nope, higher. That's annoying because they're aligning to the center, and there's not a way I can change that. Probably not. Okay, we'll just manually do it. Somewhat centralize them. Cool. And then now we just literally just stick some text over it or above it. I think so. On this one, I did them all on them. So let's try and stick to that. Although I kind of prefer to do it above it. So RPI for Raspberry Pi. Maybe just write out Raspberry Pi. No, just do RPI. Text size 42. And let's just give it a center line because I want to do some more. Yeah, a bit bigger. 56. Oops. 56. Bold. Boom. Cool. Alright, so RPI. And then that'll be the Arduino. That'll be the PLC. So I guess these ones, so this will be black. And I should probably, you want to get like the right contrast, right? So what's this relay called? My output relay. So PLC outputs K2. And you can see the benefit here of doing this now. So K2. Maybe just make that wide enough to fit that. There. Cool. Alright, and then we can put like Arduino PLC, or we can put the drawing reference. You might want to do both. You might you might want to just, you know what I mean? Because like, so I think the drawing reference for that will be PLC2. So I don't know. I think for now I'll do the actual just naming, but you could do one or the other or both. I think if you wanted to be, if you had a really complicated rig, you would make sure you do the drawing reference, I guess. Siemens PLC, and you can get fancy here now. You can stick some their logos or whatever in there as well. So let's see if we can do PC, and then for the switch, don't know. It's not really that wide, the switch, but I want to be able to get the text in, so I think I'll just make the text slightly smaller. So network switch, and it will probably come down in size here, 46. Yeah, that works. PC, and what are these? So these terminals, let's put, so it's X0, X1, and then I don't know, I can't actually remember how we said we was going to label out my terminals. So if you do X0, X1, so if I click project show terminals, and then yeah, so I've got X2, X3, X4. So I can't remember what my plan was here. I think, okay, I can find this out, right? So I think my plan was to add another set of terminals. So let's draw it how I planned on drawing it, actually. So on the, I didn't make a reminder for myself, did I? No, I didn't. So front face, I think the plan here is to actually do, so we've got X0, X1 on the front, and then we've got X2, which will be 24 volt terminals. So this is not currently how it is now. Currently those are just 0 volt terminals. But let's, oh, what have I done? That's X2, X3. So these ones, let's make this actually grey. Let's give it black text. So X2 will be 24 volts. And then X3 will be 0 volts. And then probably, which I haven't done, is I'd like to just add some text to just make that more obvious, both to myself and anyone in the future. So 24 volt. Let's make it size 40. Like that. And then 0 volts. Copy that. Go into the front face. Put that there. Again, there's no real right or wrong way to do this. It's just kind of like, these drawings are more of like a creative expression of your own mind, I guess. And then since you're supposed to know the thing best yourself, you're just trying to visually represent that. And that looks very messy, right? So when you look at that, that kind of makes more sense to you. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think we can end this video here. So we've got our back face and our front face. The only thing to think about, which when I'm looking at this is very colorful, and that may or may not be a good thing. Most of the time, you know, drawings will be looked at with color, I guess. Like if they're looked at on digital copies, if they're printed out, you probably want to print it out in color, but not everyone will. So you might want to think about like, how is your thing going to look if it's not in color? So I don't know if I can do this. Let's see if I can. If I go to print, set my printer to PDF version, which it is. Can I click properties and advanced? Okay, I can't set color here. Print preview, maybe. Okay. I'll print preview. I want to see if I can get it in print 3 pages now. I want to see if I can see how it would look. Okay, print to monochrome. There we go. Didn't even see that button right there. So print to monochrome, and then where's it gone? Print current sheet. Okay, cool. So let's do downloads, and then let's do test 1, Save. Okay, look at that. So yeah, I mean that doesn't look too bad. Still kind of obvious what things are, but yeah, you just want to be aware of that to make sure the drawing still looks okay if it was in black and white. Now can I get this back into color? Yeah, I can. Cool. All right, yeah, much better in color, but yeah, just want to think about before you're adding too many colors with contrasting, and I think like a third of men or something are colorblind as well, so that's another thing to consider. Cool. All right. I will do the top face layout myself now, just quickly, and then we'll start on the terminal layout, which I'm going to draw the terminals, each one specifically, basically. So cool. All right. Next video, I'll see you. We'll do some terminals. Nice one. Bye bye.